We gotta talk about vibe coding. It might just be a fad, but it also might be emblematic of a larger problem, and that is using generative AI to circumvent the artistic process. I've seen Fireship talk about this, I've seen Primeagen talk about this, but I found it from watching The Yard, Ludwig's podcast. A few weeks ago in a Patreon episode, Nick brought up the concept of vibe coding, and they, on the spot, generated a game called Aiden Burger Clicker, where you click burgers to feed Aiden infinitely. The game didn't work, but how quickly they got something up and running was concerning to me. They used it as an opportunity to make fun of these vibe coders for generating games using AI and selling them and monetizing them. It's honestly just a lazy way of making money, in the same way that we had guys saying crypto is the future or NFTs are the future. We have people saying that vibe coding is the future. These are the gooners of programming. These are guys who AI generate the most piece of looking games or software that have extreme monetization strategies. It's kind of a get rich quick scheme. It's all Decentraland. It's the 2025 crypto gaming space. Hopefully it's a fad. These aren't engineers. They're just people typing prompts into an AI and hoping that it works. If it breaks, they just ask the AI to fix it. They don't know how to debug. They don't know how to check for security flaws. They don't know how to optimize a program. All they know is type the quebin into ChaptGPT, hit enter, and copy paste. That's it. Even the guy who coined the term for this said it mostly works. And because AI is doing all of the actual creative labor, it's brainless, which is why everything is AI now.
Everything's computer.
They put chatbots in Instagram. It's in the videos my parents send me. YouTube has a panel that suggests video ideas for you as a creator, and it just generates them using AI. It's in your graphics card, it's in your motherboard, it's in your phone, it's in your car. It's in every Google search, whether you like it or not. It's in your game trailers, it's in songs, it's the album art. Facebook wants to replace their mid-level engineers with AI. I hope that that's their downfall. AI generation takes the challenge out of anything. It takes the fun out of anything. It removes the artist from the art. We want technology to automate the boring parts of life, not the fun stuff.
Like, shouldn't the robots be working so we could paint?
Why would I want AI to discover music for me, or write a recipe for me, or God forbid, make a game for me?
Superman with
I wouldn't feel accomplished. You don't overcome anything when you just AI generate a solution. It's soulless. I would argue that there are valid use cases for AI, like Photoshop's JPEG artifact removal, or
text-to-speech,
or real-time translation. Those are all using AI as a tool to make human life easier. I think that's all right. Meanwhile, AI cannot generate art. We all know how wasteful it is, hopefully, so I want to focus on how it just cannot create art. Philosophically, I would say that an artist makes something and then names it, whereas an artisan names what they're going to make and then makes it. AI can't purposefully break artistic conventions. It doesn't know anything. It's not conscious of its own decisions. AI is at best a artisan. The definition of art, according to Google, is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty and emotional power. AI takes the human, the artist, out of the art, and thus it takes out the emotion. Yes, there is slop art or degenerative art or whatever you want to call it that doesn't rely on intense human emotions for its inspiration. That's always going to exist. It's not going to push artistic boundaries, but it is at least original. And you can argue that humans don't naturally come up with entirely original ideas and that all thoughts are born from some inspiration, and that's true, but AI cannot be inspired. It can only replicate. And AI cannot be held responsible for stealing intellectual property in the same way that humans can. On top of that, AI images just look bad. You've seen them. They don't look great. They look bad. They look lazy. Every AI image has this like weird sheen. Humans are never going to look right. The fingers and toes are weird. They have this weird orange and blue coloring all of the time. Miyazaki said that AI generated imagery is an insult to life itself. It doesn't understand pain or emotion, and thus it cannot create art. Not good art. It cannot create art. This is why vibe coding games have some of the worst art imaginable. I'm going to try and put some examples on the screen, but it's like primitive. An AI doesn't know how to sculpt a dinosaur that's going to hold an AK-47. So AI can't make the art. It's not an artist. But what about code? AI generated code is bad code. The example code that LLMs are trained on is basically just public GitHub repositories and Stack Overflow. Okay, it's not that simple, but let me explain. Assuming that they didn't steal anyone's intellectual property when they trained it, which they did, ChaptGPT learned to code using training data from books, articles, websites, and basically whatever code the engineers could get their grubby little hands on. Public GitHub repositories and Stack Overflow posts. I'm generalizing a bit, but that is all beginner code. Big, complex systems that are built and refined over time usually don't have their source code available to the public. Public GitHub repositories are either open source or people's public portfolio projects. In Stack Overflow posts, again, I'm generalizing, are usually beginner or intermediate programmers asking for answers to their beginner or intermediate questions. Programming books and articles are usually written with the beginner in mind. They might cover higher level concepts, but the code itself is not very complex. And there lies the problem. When I studied computer science in university, when you get to the higher level courses, there's almost no code examples. We knew how to code, so we just talked about concepts and we discussed concepts. There might have been pseudocode attached to these concepts, but they're not going to teach you how to code in a class where they assume that you know how to, which means that the code base that AI gets to train on is at best intermediate level code. If you want to generate a big project of interlocking systems that need to work together without bugs, like a game, you have to do that on your own. Another issue with this is optimization. You don't learn how to optimize code in CS 101. You'll learn that later. You have to learn how to make something run before you can make it run faster. These LLMs can only spit out beginner level, unoptimized code. What sucks is that the people who use this code don't even know if it's good or bad code. They don't know how to optimize it. They don't know how to make it better. They don't even know how to take two systems that they generated and put them together. Which means that on top of AI expending unnecessary resources constantly to generate this bad code, the programs generated with it will too. Art is wasteful during its creation, but this is wasteful in every step of the process. It's unoptimized, it burns the forest down, it's not good quality-wise, and it doesn't teach you anything. On top of that, it will eventually start refeeding as we start to train AI on AI-generated code. Vibe coding, and vibe coding games specifically, only exists to make money. So, what can we do to stop it? This is the part where I'm going to ask you for suggestions. Really, I've been thinking about this for weeks, and I don't really know. Like, there's some less ethical methods, like hacking these games because they will have security flaws, and just taking them down. I'm not going to advocate for that. I don't think that these people deserve to be hurt in any way. A more morally sound method is just to protest generative AI use. For starters, don't use it yourself. If you would have commissioned an artist or a programmer, commission the artist or the programmer, or learn to do it yourself. If you don't want to or can't, don't circumvent the process using AI. Don't use chatbots. Try and use search engines that don't automatically generate AI responses. Seriously, don't consent to the training of AI on your creative work, even if you're getting paid hella. We also need to get good at recognizing when generative AI is being used. It's going to get better and it will get more convincing, and the people who already can't tell are just going to keep getting fooled. We also need to celebrate good art that doesn't use generative AI and developers that don't use generative AI. Patreon plug, I guess. I think we need to introduce a stigma. We need to make fun of those who use it. Honestly, the Apple Intelligence ads are kind of doing some of the work for us. If you've seen them, you know. Boycotting generative AI might work. So like boycotting ChaptGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and what are the other ones? Claude. It's kind of impossible given how widespread the use of it is. Like, again, every Google search is going to have an AI generated response unless you cuss out the search box. We can sit on a high horse, but we're not going to be able to really stop other people from using it unless there is a stigma attached. This isn't just about stopping vibe coding. It's about stopping the use of generative AI for creative work in its entirety. Why are the robots doing the fun stuff while the humans are slaves at the Amazon warehouse? AI is steroids for creative work. It's all of the effect, but none of the struggle. It's literally taking a shortcut, which is why it's so hard to fight. We have to somehow eliminate its rewards, which is the removal of strife. It is that you don't have to use your brain at all. Legislation is not going to keep up with this. It can't keep up with technology that we already have. And on top of that, the current administration in the US publicly embraces its use to write executive orders and promote the destruction of Gaza. On top of boycott and ridicule, I really don't know. Maybe it's time to become a Luddite? Even though that's kind of just avoiding the problem. As long as it's easier to generate something than it is to learn a creative process or commission someone, people are going to use it. They just will. I don't know. I wish I had a more optimistic end to this video. I don't really have an answer to this. Yeah. I guess please stop using generative AI. It's burning down the forest. We already have a climate change problem. This is just going to make it worse. It's actively destroying the internet as I've come to love it. It takes all the fun out of creative work. And on top of that, it's just boring. So I guess, peace.